Hello, happy Friday. How is everyone doing? I am making my way in here. I don't know how, it's 5:30. And we've got a storm brewing outside, so it's kind of a little bit dark. But I have been wanting to pop in. It has been a very busy week back to school, and we've had a bit of a heat wave here. So unexpectedly, my two little kids had half days all week. They got out of school by noon because they have no air conditioning in their school, and it's very, very oppressively warm. It's actually going to be shifting now, especially with these storms rolling in. But there's just been a lot going on here logistically, you know, all of the mundane 3D chopping wood, carrying water stuff. I hope you all have had a good week. We have a little bit of high drama going on here. It's never a dull moment. So I had kind of intended to come in earlier. I wanted to sort of break down the breadcrumbs that I've been picking up this week. But my oldest daughter, the senior volleyball captain, sustained a bit of a shoulder injury last night, and she's okay. She's stable, but it's looking like it could be a dislocation or something that's going to require further review. So she is not able to play until she can be seen by an orthopedic doctor and possibly have an MRI. So that's kind of thrown my day for a little bit of a loop. And as I think to, you know, the cards that came up for this week and all of the energies we've been moving through, the Judgment card was that first card that we got this week. And I kept it handy here that I wanted to show because it's come up in many ways. And even today with my teacher, Amanda Ellis, she had shared some messages on her Instagram and Facebook page today about some messages that she was getting about collective events and things happening in the world that spoke of, and I'm just sharing what she said because we can't make it up here, okay guys? We know what we talked about on Sunday. You know, the thing about, you know, when we talk about, and I talked a little bit about the structures and the old setup that we have in this world, and there's a coming to light. There is a shedding and releasing of all the old that can no longer stand, energy that is a buzz in the collective that then plays out in our lives in so many ways. She was talking about the bird, you know, and the left wing and the right wing, and the idea that if the bird is diseased, the left wing is diseased, the right wing is diseased, okay? And as she's talking, I'm just thinking about this card and how much it came up in our week ahead messages that are here further back on the polo. This was Monday's card, which sort of set the tone for our week. So, you know, putting it under the category of spiritual breadcrumbs, we can't deny. She had some pretty big, you know, collective messages about that. Here in our microcosm, you know, down in our little worlds, you know, how that plays out. And this energy of joy, you know, overlighting everything about stepping into a vibration of joy, stepping into a vibration of being here now and being present, and the sweetness of life and the vibration of energy that we choose to hold really speaks to me, you know. So let me bring it all the way down to my volleyball court here. Super disappointing to think that concern for my daughter, for her health, her welfare, you know, wanting to be sure that she's not going to need surgery or anything more serious. But she is literally just stepping into this exciting year of events for her that she's very much looking forward to, her time to shine on the court and off the court and all the things that she has, you know, that contingent upon, and the idea that this sudden flash of a situation or an awareness comes in that says, oh, you know, something like this can stop us in our tracks. And so there's just been this energy here of trying to allow ourselves to see this through and have it unfold one step at a time. So, you know, just kind of something that I'm moving through here today. So I didn't get on here as early as I had hoped to check in, but just saying how, you know, interesting it is that the tarot energies always play up in so many different ways in our lives, and, you know, differently for each of us. And yet this is the collective energy that we bring forward. And of course, I put the cards for this week back into the pot here so that we could pull some cards for the weekend. I'm going to do that next. So I'm just pulling up a picture of our cards this week so I can take a look at them as I talk to you, because I don't have them in front of me anymore. And just some other little observations I made this week. I, of course, was head down for most of the week doing the month ahead readings for the Empowerment Pack. So those of you with me on the Empowerment Pack, be sure to check your Polo chat with me, because you will find the links there to your readings and also your personal card pulls that are right there in your Polo. And as always, it's so cool to follow through the different patterns and the different ways that the messages come through, because again, it's collective energy, and yet it's always so fascinating how we could be on opposite sides of the world and yet moving through these similar energies. And so some of the things that I observed, one of them is, as a matter of fact, multiple people, and I want to say at least 4, received the Hermit card of the tarot, which is card 9, which is interesting because I'm going to pop in here at some point and give you a little update about the energies of 9. I had mentioned with the numerology and the astrology happening this week that after this week wrapped up today, Saturday would kick off with the 9/9 portal, because it is 9/9. So I want to share a little bit about the energetics of that day and the number 9. And so I thought it was quite appropriate that it's card 9 from the tarot, the Hermit card, that was quite a frequent flyer here. And it's beautifully depicted here in the Raven's Dream Tarot, where we see that cave with the inner light and kind of stepping away. But one of the things that kept coming out was this, when we cannot see the forest for the trees, this bird's eye view up here where we can sort of see the big picture. And when we can step away and have quiet and calm and solitude, it perhaps is very, very easy for us to maybe get clarity or be able to see that big picture. But when we're down in the fray, when we're in the mist, in the fog, in the storm, in the volleyball court, wherever we are, it can be very difficult to really be able to detach and view those things big picture, because we are in the nitty gritty. So this was something that, I see coming up for multiple people this month, and this could appear anywhere in the spread. When we do the Empowerment Pack, we're talking energies for the beginning, the middle, and the end of the month. We also pulled a card this month for the overlighting energy for each person individually. And again, this card was featured multiple times. And so this energy of 9, not surprised at all. We're in the 9th month. We're going to talk about the 9/9 energy. So I'm not surprised at all. 9s are culminations. They are approaching an ending. Things are coming to completion, because 10 is wholeness, endings, and new beginnings. So the fact that this number 9 came up for so many people in the 9th month, but also having sort of this split between going within, wise self, stillness, to being lost in the forest, in the mist, in all of this, and, when you're there, boots on the ground, in the muck, in the fray, in the trenches, how do we maintain this higher perspective? And I think that's something that we're going to continue to see as we navigate forward into these times, into the energies that we are in. And so we're constantly looking at these timelines and these different loops of energies, strands that we can be present in. And so, where you decide to be is in fact the lens through which you are viewing everything, and in turn will be how it shows up for you, right? So if I'm in a place of lack, if I'm in a place of fear, if I'm in a place that's in a lower vibrational energy, then no surprise, I know what goes on this floor. Everywhere I look, I'm going to see doom, gloom, fear-based energies. I'm going to see things that are about lack and not enoughisms and all of those types of things. If I am in a higher vibrational frequency and I am seeing through the lens of joy, of love, if I'm seeing through the lens of enough, and this idea of wholeness, then we will, certainly be seeing that reflected back. So there's always a balance in there, and using the cards, using the different tools that we work with, we're able to help to glean different perspectives and awarenesses. That is my hope anyway. So let's go ahead and put the camera down and take a look here for some weekend messages just for the Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'll pull a special card for 9/9, and then I'll pop on here with a graphic and some background about the energetics of that number, the 9/9 portal. So let's take a look. Okay, so we're going to tune in here for some collective messages for our weekend. We are using the Raven's Dream Tarot by 𝗦𝗘𝗣𝗧𝗘𝗠𝗕𝗥 this month. We are exploring this, so enjoying it as I have just come through doing several readings for the Empowerment Pack. We will also be using this deck again this weekend when I tune in for our week ahead messages for next week. So on Sunday, I'll be popping in on Marco Polo on the September Empowerment Sharecast to pull the cards live for our week ahead, our 5 cards, and then we'll be offering personal card pulls if you would like one. And then we'll be doing our Facebook Live over on the Majestic Living Designs Crystal Community Group, back on schedule. Last week we were off for the holiday weekend. I will be going live 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sunday for some live personal card pulls and catch up on all the things. So before we get into all that on the other end of the weekend, let's kick off Friday, Saturday, Sunday energies for us. I'll pull 3 cards, but I think what I'll do first is I will pull one for our overarching energy this weekend. You know, what we need to most know this weekend as we move forward. And you know, let me spray first. I actually still have my setup here from a personal session earlier today. And we were bringing in the energies of the higher self connection spray for awareness and intuition. These are the healing energy sprays I work with from Angelic Celestial Colors as a part of my Metatron color healing practice. Never ceases to amaze me. We had the most beautiful color schemes coming in with all of the altar elements and supporting cards that came forward for the session. But I like to use this spray when we're pulling cards for Empowered Tarot because it is about connecting with our higher self and our guides and that wise part of us to be able to see things from that bird's eye view that I was just talking about that came forward so much this week with the Hermit card, the energy of 9 as we move into this weekend with the 9/9 portal tomorrow, Saturday. So let's shuffle up here, calling in the higher selves here of our collective group, everyone who is viewing this. So if you're viewing it on Marco Polo, you're already here. If you are viewing this on one of my social media places, this is a little sampling of the collective messages, card pulls, and musings that we do over on the free Marco Polo Empowerment Sharecast that I do every month. So if you have not joined me there yet, do check out the link. Over there, I offer personal card pulls as well for your week ahead. So let's go ahead, shuffle up here, see what's coming forward for our overarching theme. And we do have a storm rolling in here. So I've got some thunder, some rain. So it's kind of dark and giving us some reprieve to all the humidity we've had here. We've been having a heat wave. Ooh, I see one has volunteered to come forward. That was a hand. How interesting. We have the Devil coming up. Major Arcana card, the Devil. And I'm still fangirling because a lot of these cards I have yet to see come up as I've just started working with this deck. And this is one I haven't seen yet. Wow, look at this. So speaking of those prisons of our own making, those places where we may find ourselves beholden to old patterns and addictions and ways of being, of comfort zone. Here we see this hand feeding the raven the peanuts, you know, and there's just this energy of sort of keeping ourselves in this cage or keeping ourselves beholden to some old patterns or habits or comfort zone behaviors that may be keeping us playing small. So that's interesting to see how the Devil energy could play up this weekend and be something for us to take a look at. So we'll pull our 3 cards, just kind of tuning into Friday, Saturday, Sunday, to know, to do, and be this weekend. Just some energies around this weekend for our collective. Ooh, big bolt of lightning. So there's just a lot of energy right now. Mother Nature is definitely having a cleansing here. Woo, there we go. That one jumped right out. 5 of Wands. Next up, to do action energy this weekend. Ooh, 10 of Cups. Beautiful. I love that. And finally, we have to be the yin energy to receive this weekend. Page of Wands, more Wands energy. So you may know that this week we had a lot of fire in our week ahead spread for our collective. We had the Judgment card, which brought in fire. We also had the King of Wands, and the Ace of Wands was today's card, the Friday card, which in fact did show the phoenix rising from the ashes. So there's this fiery energy of sort of being, I'm getting like baptized by fire, cleansed by fire, you know, this clearing that's coming in through the elements. That has also been another theme that's been coming in this month so far, is working with the elements of change. So like I said, when we talk about the devil and that energy, it's tempting. It's tempting for us to be lured to the shiny thing. And that kind of leads us into the thing to know. And this is kind of building off of what I was just saying on the prior polo, where I was sort of sharing some of the breadcrumbs that have been forming this week that I've been following with collective messages, with things happening on the world stage, and other things that were coming forward today that I heard messages that were very aligned with the Judgment card that we got this week for our overarching energy. 5 of Wands is my stirring the poop card. It's that card of competition, that card of grappling for being the winner, for getting the prize, for being right. There's an argumentative energy. There's a useless stirring around of lower vibrational energies. And so this is to know. So, you know, I really think that, like I said, I think there's some really significant energies coming in on the world stage, on the big stage. And so depending on where you are in the world and the current events and the topics du jour, you know, that can vary. But overall, there's sort of a vibration of those types of awakenings coming in. That's what the Judgment card was all about, is this idea of this clarion call, of a wake up, of stepping into authenticity, and that card brilliantly is showing the ravens completely plucked of all of their feathers, you know, this plucking away of everything that is false and can no longer stand. So as we see some energy, some futile energy of grappling for scraps, or something that can be sort of this kind of a discord, just know that that energy exists. Like I was just saying about these wheels, you know, these timelines, these places that we find ourselves in, this somewhere in this place of transition, change, and transformation. And so as we go through that collectively, we're each individually experiencing our own stages and phases of that change. So as we tune into the vibration of joy, of simplicity, of sweetness, of savoring things in the moment and being present, we can also know that this energy exists, and we can observe that energy from a distance without participating in the shiny thing. You know, in the thing that is very tempting and luring sometimes, comfort zone energy, because it's the devil that we know. That's a big message, you know, maybe more than we would like to have for our weekend. So I'm happy to say that the doing and the being is actually really light and beautiful. So I just think that these two are really showing us like sort of a state of the situations that we see around us, to be aware of, to hold that, and we'll see, I'll pull that special oracle card too. But, you know, while that is all going on, we can actually step out of that fray and into the actions and the reactions that we will hold. And so it doesn't get much better than the 10 of Cups, this energy of wholeness and completion. And this has to do with our homes, our families, our people. You know, the 10 of Cups is showing this beautiful culmination of everything with all these beautiful rainbows. And in fact, I know from this card coming up, when I was doing the Empowerment Pack readings, there's a beautiful story about a symbiotic relationship between this tree and this body of water. And the fact that these roots were able to extend down into the waters and be nourished and sustained by the waters, but they had this mutual relationship. And of course, down here, we see all of these lotus flowers, this idea of understanding the blooms that come forward from the muck, from the mud, from the heaviness. And as I say that, the sun is coming out, out my window. If there's a rainbow, we're running out there on Marco Polo Live because we can't make this stuff up. This is the beautiful rainbow on the other side. This is wholeness. This is culmination of all of this instability and change. That's what the 5 is. 5 is a number of chaos and change. It's the number of the rebel. It's a number for freedom. So we can't have the lotus without the mud. So the poop stirrers have a role too, you know? And how does that show up in our own lives as well? It doesn't have to be all the big stuff. And of course, the big stuff, the little stuff, all mirroring each other, of course. So this can also speak to discord in your little circles as well, with different personalities and individuals grappling and scrabbling and all the things. But over here in family, in gathering, we have this really beautiful energy of wholeness. So I think to act this weekend really with your pack, as we see the wolves there, just this energy of, again, following your lightness and joy, like we're seeking out the rainbow, seeking out the silver lining in all things. Now, of course, just from a practical standpoint, 10 is a lot. That's a lot of cups. So some of us could be very busy this weekend. We could have a lot of things going on. So as you navigate all of that, you know, being sure to allow yourself time for rest, time for being present as much as you can. But that's a really beautiful energy to come in to bring us through that 9-9 into the new cycle that begins on the other side. And with that, we have the energy of the Page of Wands, so to be. And I love the Page of Wands because there's this fiery energy that's inspiring. It's also very much about like taking some inspired action. And in fact, I will take a look. As if you were tuning in last week, you know that this deck beautifully outlines in each card the dreams of the raven, the dreamscape of the raven that it is moving through. So we have this energy of, you know, what is happening here with this Page of Wands. And so there's a story that the raven is dreaming of a fledgling who's brimming with boundless vitality and a daring spirit of exploration. And the young bird embodied curiosity, eager to experience all the world had to offer. The fledgling spotted a tiger just about to devour a fish. The desire to participate gripped the young raven, its boldness overshadowing any trace of fear or reservation. Rather than responding aggressively, the tiger found itself struck by the audacious enthusiasm and sheer innocence radiating from the youthful bird. Its eyes softened, and an understanding passed between the two unlikely companions. Gently, the tiger extended its massive paw, creating a perch for the raven. In a display of surprising camaraderie, the mighty beast shared its meal with the bird. It was a surreal scene, a testament to the young raven's fearless spirit and a strange yet beautiful alliance formed in the depths of a dream. And that's interesting because, of course, the page is bringing in a very youthful energy. And then we have sort of like the mature energy of the tiger who's sort of taken with the fledgling and sort of saying like, oh, bless your heart. Isn't that cute? Yeah, okay, you can have some of my fish. But it's an unlikely pairing. And we had that this week. When we pulled the card for how we are growing, we pulled the Two of Cups, and it featured a raven and a seagull, unlikely companions who actually found themselves, again, in a symbiotic relationship of ability to play on each other's strengths and come together in balance and harmony. So, you know, allowing yourself perhaps to just... And again, whatever this discord is over here, and if it does involve young people and generations and differences between, I'm feeling this beautiful harmonization and blending of that coming in here, or potential for that, you know? And so also just engaging your creative spirit, getting in touch with your wands, which is going to be the sparks of inspiration and creativity in your life, and just being curious and open to trying new things and exploring things. And, you know, maybe even I'm getting like, you know, going the extra mile to extend a kindness to someone who maybe you normally wouldn't interact with, you know, to have that surprising pairing that could come from that. And remember, every single one of those encounters creates that positive ripple effect going forward that is, something that's going into all of this energy and all of this stirring energy over here and all of this energy that we see. We can offset that with the energies that we are holding, the frequency that we are holding. Look at all the fireflies. There's fireflies in this card and this card. We see these energies of these fireflies that are shining their own unique light in the dark. So there's a lot to be said there too. I know these are big messages. Can't really help it. This deck is really beautiful and very deep. And I was just kind of really struck by the breadcrumbs that came forward today and the messages I saw. As I mentioned in the prior polo, Amanda Ellis was sharing some messages about the bird, the diseased bird, the left wing and the right wing. And I just couldn't help but see that judgment card that we got this week and how that energy had come up right away for our collective to understand, this coming to light, this rising above, this stripping away of all that can no longer stand and stepping into an awakening and into a place of authenticity and more truth. So really feeling those big messages here. Have a good weekend while you're at it. While you're moving through all of that, have yourself a good weekend. I know it's a lot. Let's go ahead and pick our oracle card to see what's coming forward here with the 9-9 portal. So I'm setting an intention with the oracle of the 7 energies for a message for us around the 9-9 portal happening tomorrow, September 9th. The 9th of September, the energies of 9 culminating, and I will again be coming in with another message to elaborate on that and how you can work with those energies. Let's see what comes forward here from the oracle. Message for 9-9. Ooh, nothing like card 8 on September 8th as I pull it. Into me I see. Into me I see. Look how beautiful that is. And I'm seeing those lotus flowers down there, just like we have on that 10 of cups. I'm seeing these beautiful wings behind her, and definitely an energy of stepping into self, and seeing with clarity. So let's see what the message is here with card number 8. And these cards all correspond with a different chakra. And this actually gets into energy 2, which correlates with the sacral chakra, which is, of course, also where the wands are correlating as well with fire, but with the sparks, our desires, our passions, our inspirations coming from the sacral chakra. Water element. So this speaks to connection, to sexuality, intimacy, birthing, desire, pleasure, feelings, and fluidity. Into me I see. And the key concepts here: intimacy, trust in another, dropping shields and rigid boundaries to allow connection, the willingness to be vulnerable. Yeah, anytime I see that they're not clothed, it speaks to me about vulnerability, of being in our most authentic skin. Again, with the feathers plucking away. At certain precious moments, you're called into a deep and meaningful connection with the world or another person. A magical affinity arises with the kind of intimacy that in turn encourages a greater understanding of yourself. The relationship acts as a mirror, helping you to see your own patterns. What it reflects about you can further your own personal evolution. Now is the time to take a risk by connecting with another. Yes, what did we say? Step out and connect with someone unlikely, right? Can you see how far you've come? Can you see what is still active within you that needs to change or heal? You will discover more about who you are as you discover more about another. Even if you cannot possibly know what it's truly like to be in someone else's shoes, you can listen and learn. This is a magical gift being offered to you right now. This concept applies beyond romantic connection. What do the dynamics in your closest friendships, work relationships, and family say about you? Relationships are extraordinary opportunities for healing. When predicated on honesty and caring, they have a great impact on how you contribute to the world. Intimate relationships hold up a mirror of truth and reveal more treasures than you might ever expect. If you can look into it, take a risk and see everything as beautiful, even in its imperfections. Imagine how deep you could go. So again, without, I don't know what's all unraveling and unfolding here with the energies of the Judgment card, or exactly when or how, all the things. That's all a part of these multitudes of timelines and potentialities. But nonetheless, the guidance is clear, right? To go within. The Hermit card came forward. I was talking about how the Hermit card came forward so much this month for people in their month ahead readings. Go within, connect in with your wise self. Into me I see. And then when it comes to this energy of discord, when it comes to this energy of stirring the poop, of fighting over the scraps, of trying to be the one who's right, of talking over, of not listening, right? How can we take a perspective that says that I can actually see how each of these people, situations, circumstances are actually acting as a mirror, reflecting back to me something within myself that has an opportunity to be healed, to be seen, to be released, to be forgiven, to be integrated. And that if I can approach every interaction through that lens, it affords me the ability to see things perhaps from that elevated perspective that I may not otherwise have been able to see, because, and this is where, and I don't know that I showed this card when I was camera down, and since if I do post this on my social media, just to share, the card that I'm talking about, we had kicked off this past week that we're just coming through now, culminating into Friday. The card that came up to overlight our collective energy for this week ahead was the Hermit, and it is beautifully depicted here with the Hermit in the cave, with the fire, right? With the energy of that inner light. But beneath them there, we see the forest. We see the mistiness of, not being able to see the forest through the trees when we're down in the muck, when we're down slinging things around, when we're in a situation where we're not seeing with that bird's eye view, the big picture perspective through our wise self. So this is an energy that presented itself repeatedly for this month, the number 9, the energy of 9 that we are coming into this weekend. But before that, one last stop here on the 8 with this card number 8, into me I see. And allow it to be a reflection, allow it to be a perspective that I choose to hold as I move through. So all that being said, I hope that actually it's a light and carefree weekend for you, that you enjoy everything that you have on deck. And as I said, I will be coming in here on Sunday, probably sometime in the late morning, early afternoon, East Coast Standard Time, and pulling our cards for the week ahead. So if you want to tune in live, you can also catch the replay is here for you, and I break it down by each day so that it's there easily for you to tune in at any time throughout the week to see what's coming forward for some guidance, wisdom, and insight into our week ahead. And then we'll be having the live over on Facebook at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sunday evening. But also, like I said, by being on the Marco Polo Sharecast, you can request a personal card pull for your week ahead at any time. So I would love to see you over there. If you're already here, thank you so much for being here. I will be popping in with some guidance for 9/9 as well. So thank you guys so much for being here. I'm sending lots of love, many blessings. Have a beautiful weekend.